Well, that's a pretty flower you have there. Hey, Otong, where'd you get that from? Is that part of our story today? Are you not going to tell me? Are you trying to act like you can't talk? You think the boys and girls are watching? Oh, they are. Hey, welcome, boys and girls. This is Uncle Bryan's Stories Worth Repeating. I'm so glad you've joined me again today, and I've got a great story for you coming from Uncle Arthur's Bedtime Stories again. And this is a beautiful one, especially for today. So welcome. Glad you've joined us. This is Uncle Bryan, and here's Otong, my friend, Otong Finnegan. And we are going to tell you a story today about kindness. Now, I don't know if that's something you think about a lot, but it should be. It could be. So, our story starts with a little boy named David. And David was a kind-hearted boy, and he had go to like a mission or a church or like a Sabbath school or a Sunday school place, and he was learning about God, learning to love people, and one day the speaker said something that was very interesting. He said, "Boys and girls, men and women, you should try to show kindness to others, to be loving and caring so you can bless other people." And little David thought to himself, well, I don't know what I can do. There's really nothing I can do. I don't have any money. I'm just a little boy. And he's like, I'm not sure what I can do. And so he went up and he asked the man. He says, well, what can a little boy like me do? Have you ever thought that, boys and girls? Have you wondered what good you can do, especially now that you're maybe not being able to go to school because of the virus and you're at home? Maybe you don't know what you could be doing. And David asked that question. And the man looked at him very wisely and he said, well, maybe you could do something kind for people who don't get out much. That's a lot of people nowadays. But he thought, do you know anyone that's called like a shut-in? Have you ever used that term before? Shut-in? Hey, Otong, do you know what shut-in means? No? I didn't think you would. Well, a shut-in is someone who maybe can't get out as much, like everybody in the quarantine right now, but usually like an older person or maybe someone who's had some challenges, some handicaps in their life, and so they're not able to get out as much, and so they don't see as many people, maybe going to a retirement center or a nursing home, places like that. And David thought, oh, I could do that. I know someone. Mrs. Gordon, she lives right above us in our apartment complex. I could ask my mom and I could try to do something nice for her. Oh, and he got excited and he ran on home to his house and he said, oh, Mom, it'd be okay if I were to do something nice for Mrs. Gordon? She said, well, sure. He said, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And he thought, now, boys and girls, my children like to sometimes draw nice little pictures and color things and to give those to people because people like to put them on their refrigerator and do something nice, or sometimes just calling someone and praying and being happy is a wonderful blessing, or smiling to every person you meet. We've told that other story, remember? Coal in the Cadillac, great story there. One of our first ones we did on this channel. But he thought, well, maybe I could take her some flowers. And so little David, with his mom's permission, again, these are stories a while back in a smaller town, he went to a flower place and he came up to the lady behind the counter. That's where Otong's going to be that. And he looked at this beautiful flower. And by the way, this flower, a friend of ours just dropped off at our house today. What a blessing. And he said to the lady, you be a lady today, just temporarily for the story. Yeah, okay. He says, ma'am, hi, well, how much is that flower? I want to buy that flower. And she said, what'd she say? Can you hold up fingers? She said, it is $7. $7. And David thought to himself, oh, I don't have $7. That's a lot of money. Can you go any lower? And she said, nope, that's the price of the flower, $7. And he thought, okay. And he kind of dropped his head and he walked out. Then he had an idea. He went over to the furniture shop and he asked if he could have some of their scrap wood. And so he went home and he got a small little hatchet. Now, boys and girls, I know this is not a hatchet, but it's the closest thing we could think of. My son said, we got to use that battle axe. I'll tell stories about this another time. I'm using this as an idea for one of the books I want to write one day called Marriage Weapons. How to win the war for your marriage. But that's another thing for the adults and all that stuff. So we're just using this as a prop, okay? So can you imagine now? So David got some scraps, and he took his little hatchet, and he began to chop them up. And if I chop too much like this, I'm going to get these in my hand. I don't like that too. So maybe he's swinging. Whee-ah! No, he was being careful. Sorry, Mom and Dad, don't let this happen at home, especially in your room. And so he's chopping up the little scrap pieces of wood, and he made some kindling bunches. So in other words, he made a bunch of little things of small sticks that people could use to start fires. And so after he made those, he made about 6 or 8 of those. He made 8 of them in bundles, and he went door to door to his neighbors saying, would you like some kindling? Hey, sir, do you want some fire starter kindling? And he sold 8 different sets. I'm sorry, he sold 8 or 10. He managed everything that he made. He chopped everything up, and he sold about 10 of them for 50 cents each. So boys and girls, what's 10 times 50 cents? 50 cents times 10. How much money would he have? Well, let's see. We'll do a little bit of math here. So 50 cents times 2 is how much? Is $1. So 50 cents times another 2 is $1. How many 2's go into 10? 5 of them. Our cameraman, you could have been helping this too, Otong. Hello. So 10 times 50 cents is $5 bills. And so he was so excited he had $5 bills, but he didn't have 7. And so he goes running back to the flour shop and says, hello. And hey, hi, how much is the flour? And he's hoping she'd go down in the price. But did she go down? No, she didn't. She raised up her hands and she says, it is $7. He says, $7? Can you go down? No, that's the cost of the flour. He said, oh, that's sad. And he turned ready to walk away, and there was a man behind him. And the man said, young man, he says, I'll help you. Do you need $2 more? He said, yes. He said, but David says, I can't take the money from you. He says, oh, it's okay, son. What are you going to buy the flour for? Is it your mother's birthday? He said, no. Was it someone in your family? David said, no. Well, why are you doing that? Well, I was told that we can be kind and we can bless people. And I wanted to give this flour to our neighbor who lives above us. She doesn't get out much, and I think she'd be really happy with that. It would make her happy and smile. And that man gave him the $2. And so he gave the money to the lady, and he took that flour, and he was so excited. And what David didn't see is as he's walking out of the store and thanking the lady and the man, his new friend, that man was almost crying to think that here's a little boy who would work hard to get money to give a flower. And so little David, he went running home carefully, because you don't want to run and break a flower. He went running home, knocked on the door, and he said, Mrs. Gordon, here's a flower for you. I hope it brings you happiness. I was thinking about you. And Mrs. Gordon, she said, oh, thank you so much. I love flowers. It's so beautiful and healthy. Thank you, David. Thank you. You made my day. And David felt really warm and fuzzy inside for sure. And he went on with his day. But what he didn't know was that man, the man who gave him the $2, he went home, and as soon as he walked in the house, he said, honey, something strange happened to me today. She said, oh, what's that, dear? He said, I saw a little boy who was buying a flower to bless someone that wasn't part of his family. He just wanted to be kind. And His wife said, well, that's nice, honey. Well, what do you mean? You saw him? Well, that's nice. Well, he didn't quite have enough money. He had worked, he had cut, he had made some sticks, he had sold the sticks, but he only had $5. He needed 2 more, so I gave him $2. She said, well, that's nice of you, honey. That's really nice. Well, yeah, that's easy for me to do. But it made me think, honey, we don't normally help people that aren't part of our family. We don't think about others like that. And here's this little boy doing that. I think we should start caring more about other people. And his wife just smiled. She said, oh, that's a wonderful idea. What could we do? He says, well, I'm not really sure, but I guess we could buy a bunch of flowers and take them to the mission also, or to the church, and see if they know some older folks, and we can start to meet our neighbors and do those things. She says, that's a great idea. I love it. Let's do that. And when we have children in the future, we can teach them to be kind to others too. Okay. And so they went the next day, and they bought a bunch of flowers, and they were going to one of the little missions, one of the little church areas, and to see if they knew people that needed some cheer. And as they were there, they saw little David. There he was talking to the minister. And now that's my clock. Can you hear it? It's kind of quiet over there. And the man who was bringing all those flowers, he looks and said, that's my little friend David. Here, meet my wife. And David saw all their flowers they were giving, and he said, wow, you're going to make a lot of people really happy. And the man said, yes, we will, but it's all because of your example. Thank you, David. Thank you for encouraging us, and it really spoke to our heart. So, boys and girls, as you go into this weekend, I hope and pray that you've been reminded to be kind and gentle and to be doing things to love others and to bless them. And never forget David and the flowers, the beautiful flowers that could bless other people. And there's lots of things you can be doing to encourage and bless others too. And so, Otong and I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you're blessed. And until we see you next time, may kindness continue to grow in your heart. Bye-bye.